So Ben Shapiro apparently did a breakdown of the new book from Bernie Sanders called It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism. And, you know, that triggers Ben Shapiro to the high heavens because to him, capitalism is just as much of a religion as Judaism. You know, he is a vociferous defender of capitalism. And probably in its most, unfettered laissez-faire form. So our buddy R.M. Brown covered this on his channel. Hilarious video, by the way. Go check it out. And our other buddy, David Dole of the Rational National, tweeted out this clip from R.M. Brown's coverage of it. And there's so many things to talk about here. So listen to the thrust of the main argument against Bernie, because it is astonishing how dishonest this is.
Listen to this sort of Leninist ugliness that he directs against people who make money in our country. Okay. It really is amazing.
Check it out.
We need to recognize once and for all that for people on top, enough is never enough. How much do they need? The answer is always more. Like heroin addicts, oligarchs are never satisfied with what they have. They need a new fix, more and more and more, no matter what the consequences of their greed.
Oh, my God.
All right, before we continue, I just want to give you one fact. Jeff Bezos has over $100 billion. At the same time, there are over 50,000 homeless veterans in the United States of America and 600,000 homeless people overall. Just sit on that for a second. Does that make sense? Is that a reasonable distribution of wealth? Is it that, this guy just worked that much harder, bro? Is that what it is? Or is it something else? All right, let's continue.
I mean, probably we should kill them. They sound pretty evil. All they want is more and more and more. Now, in reality,
it's a little...
I've never seen a more brazen lie. You literally just read the quote, and then you totally strawman Bernie Sanders' argument to make him sound murderous? Murderous. So the only guy who opposed the illegal and offensive invasion of Iraq, which killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, that guy is somehow pro-murder. But you, Ben Shapiro, who vociferously supported that war, no, you're just a good person. What? Okay, I need to play that again. Because it is astonishing. Listen to the quote, and then listen to his interpretation of the words on the page.
Listen to this sort of Leninist ugliness that he directs against people who make money in our country. Okay. It really is amazing.
Check it out.
We need to recognize once and for all that for people on top, enough is never enough. How much do they need? The answer is always more. Like heroin addicts, oligarchs are never satisfied with what they have. They need a new fix, more and more and more, no matter what the consequences of their greed.
Oh, my God.
I mean, probably we should kill them.
That's probably we should kill them. Ben Shapiro is one of these guys who always does the whole tap dance about like, bro, I'm just about the free marketplace of ideas. And you have to have like open discussions and whatnot with people who disagree with you, and you should steel man their perspective and not straw man their perspective, because you need to honestly engage with people. He's had on, Anna Kasparian, for example, and they debated. And he puts up this veneer, this facade of like, I'm reasonable and I'm honest. And then you read a passage where he's like, damn, man, the top 1% is super greedy and the consequences of their actions are dire. And he goes, you want to kill them? Are you kidding me, Ben? Are you kidding me? First of all, that passage says nothing except what is on the page right there. Second of all, if you're going to take anything away from that, he wants to tax them a little more and redistribute that wealth to the hardworking people who don't get by in this country. So dishonest, man. If anybody's listening to this and you're a Ben Shapiro fan, stop. Just stop. What he's doing here is being a partisan hack and working backwards from his conclusion. I don't like Bernie Sanders, therefore I'm going to mangle and twist his words into something that he did not say at all. At all. Now, R.M. Brown does a great job here because what he does is he goes, let me go read like the passage just before it and the passage just after it to see what Bernie was actually saying, because clearly he wasn't saying kill the rich people. Okay, watch.
They sound pretty evil. All they want is more and more and more. Now, in reality, it is Bernie who wants more and more and more of their income.
I really wanted to know the context of these quotes that Benny Shapiro is reading out of this crap. that he's reading. So I downloaded the book. Here's the paragraphs before this quote. Our struggle is against a system where the top 25 hedge fund managers in the United States pocket more money than 350,000 kindergarten teachers combined. When did the people make that determination? When did we decide that a drug company executive at Moderna can collect a golden parachute valued at $926 million? Whoa. This might hit Benny Shapiro where it hurts. For not working. While EMT workers who work, they do this. This is what they sound like working. While EMT workers who work around the clock to save lives make as little as $40,000 a year. Whoa. Most of the stuff, even Ben's audience.
So, let me just explain that. Earlier in the same video, Ben Shapiro does this thing about like, Bernie Sanders never held a real job in his life. He's lazy. He's not a worker. Being lazy and not working is bad. And then he goes on to attack a passage where Bernie's argument is, hey man, executives are making $926 million at a pharma company when they don't work. They don't work, and they're getting paid absurd amounts of money. And then you have actual workers, kindergarten teachers, EMS people, they're making next to nothing, and they're busting their ass. So Bernie's argument is, we got people in the top 1%, the owner class, the donor class. They are effectively leeching off the system, leeching off their workers, extracting that surplus value, taking it as profit, screwing over decent people who work hard as they don't work and buy their second yacht. Isn't that a problem? Isn't that wrong? Isn't that bad? So Ben Shapiro doesn't even realize Bernie is actually applying a framework that Ben agrees with. Ben's framework of like, hey, if you're lazy and you don't work, you should suffer the consequences of that. And Bernie's like, agreed. Look at these executives who are lazy and don't work, and they make all this money when actual working people get screwed. It's literally the passage right before the one Ben cited. Unbelievable. Unbelievable this guy is.
Probably agree with. It's pretty hard when you start with the frame of, this guy doesn't work. And then you look at these, drug company executives making $926 million for not working, while people who do, some of the hardest work, an EMT driver who doesn't get paid nothing, a little bit hard for your case, buddy, But thank God, none of your audience will actually read the book.
So David Dole goes on to say here, in another clip, Ben Shapiro puts on a German accent while quoting Bernie, which I guess is his only way to make Bernie sound evil, as none of Ben's actual analysis is landing. Yes, so Bernie Sanders, who had family members who died in the Holocaust, at another point in the video, Ben Shapiro compares him to a Nazi. Stay classy, Ben. Whatever happened to that steel manning the other position thing? To Ben, it's just so immensely absurd that anybody would prefer social democracy to raw capitalism. That somebody would want, hey, let's meet the basic needs of people. And then it's, hey, the harder you work, the further you go type stuff. See, we don't have that right now. We don't have a meritocracy right now. We don't have it. It's not the harder you work, the further you go. It's not how it works. Ironically, creating a social democratic system gets you closer to that, right? Because if you can guarantee everybody has healthcare, for example, a good education, for example, a roof over their head, decent pay. If you can guarantee that, then the floor is a reasonable floor. And then you could try to build up from there. This is Bernie's actual politics. I know he calls himself a democratic socialist, but if you put his positions down on paper, he's a social democrat. He's, there's a point R.M. Brown makes in the video time and time again. It's like, yeah, this guy, he always goes to the Scandinavian model is like, hey, we should learn from that. And that's all we're talking about. And imagine the mental gymnastics it takes, the way you have to twist yourself into a pretzel to argue that this basic system, which kicks our ass in many relevant ways in terms of quality of life, and their structures and their institutions, that this is radical and unacceptable and extremist. It is the least extremist option on the menu, Ben. It's empirically tested, it's proven, it works very well, and it's very moderate in its nature because it harnesses good aspects of socialism and some aspects of capitalism and puts it together. And that, to Ben Shapiro, is worthy of a straw man saying, if you support that system, you want to murder people. You want to murder rich people. That's what he says. It's just so incredibly dishonest, man. It really is. It's lazy, it's hacky, it's partisan drivel, it's working backwards from your conclusion, and it is absolutely pathetic. Anyway, go check out the rest of Aaron Brown's video on it. He goes way deeper than I did here. And it's just amazing to me. Like, he's poisoning so many people's minds with absolute garbage, and in this case, flat-out lies. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.